had learned a lot of new music.
Yeah, so that's a lot of new stuff for you. We're so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Yes? Oh, yeah. Glover Moore. So everybody breathe into that brave faith. I think that's really important that we each cultivate that place of faith within us so that no matter what's taking place, no matter what's going on, that we're willing to step up and be brave in every situation, every circumstance. So today I'm talking about boldly living a new story. And living a new story takes boldness, doesn't it? So we all have stories. We have factual stories, make-believe stories, stories about ourselves, and stories about other people. We make stories up about people who are in line at stores. We make stories about people in traffic. Anybody? Stories keep us busy living outside of ourselves. Bless our hearts. Maybe you don't, but I do. I make up stories. And I certainly have in the past. Have you? You don't have to answer. I'm making up stories about you right now. Can you feel it? You are the beloved place where God shows up. You are bright and shining, and your hearts are wide open, and you are absolutely magnificent in the glory and the presence of God. This is what I know. This is the story I'm making up about you, because this is the truth of who you are. Breathe into that. Can you feel it? Can you feel that powerful presence of those words? See, my story is you are absolutely brilliant. This is fun when our stories raise and praise each other. Feels good, didn't it? Yeah. Most of the stories I used to tell were negative about myself. Anybody? About my life, about the mistakes I made. It haunted me on a regular basis. Anyone? No, just me. Oh, a couple of you, thank you. Friends and family. Boldly living a new story asks each one of us to live like victors and not victims. To change our way that we have been thinking first about ourselves and about life around us. Because you see, victors claim that the divine life of joy, gratitude, and thankfulness, everything always works out for me. You know, I said this the other day. There's a place down in Roseville, and it's near Rick's office, and when I get back on the freeway, I said, well, you know what, I'm not going to go on the freeway there because it's really hard to move over and get out of the traffic. And I said, Maggie, stop that. Everything always works out for me. So as I left his office and I'm going to this on-ramp, I just say, everything's always working out for me. And I get down to the on-ramp and I look behind me at the freeway, and it was a busy day that day. And the traffic was way back there. I said, see, everything's always working out for me. That's a victorious statement. That's a statement of victory for each and every one of us. I use it all the time. Especially if I get scared about something or if I don't feel too comfortable. Everything always works out for me. Boldly living a new story means we're willing to shift our attention from what isn't working to being open to imagine greater possibilities. Because just as I spoke the word for you, it opens the door. When we imagine the greater possibilities that we desire to take place in our life, then it takes us beyond where we've gone before. Instead of limiting, restricting our life experience, expanding our thinking is valuable. Expanding our beliefs opens the door for something greater yet to be revealed. We learn to tell stories for our good that is here and good that is on the way. That's what imagination is. That's what is expanding to the greater good that opens the door to allow that to come into our lives. Good and more good is mine today. I love that saying. That's Emma Curtis Hopkins. It takes courage to live boldly. It takes courage to go beyond the pain or the difficulties or the circumstance that might be a little bit confusing right now. It takes courage to live boldly. It takes letting go and letting God. This reminds me of an adaptation of the parables. You know, Jesus talked in parables because the people didn't understand, so he had to make up stories. Isn't that interesting? So here's one. When a man was wrongly and unfairly imprisoned, living in an isolated cell, he was very depressed, resentful, and very sorry for himself. Every night after the guard fell asleep, the man tried to push, with all his might, trying to push the cell door open. And after months of trying, he was defeated. And finally, he dropped to his knees and he said, "Dear Lord, I'm tired. Everything I know to set myself free, I've done. I need your guidance. Please show me the way out." Hear that? And in that moment, he heard, sometimes the way out is the way in. Hear that? Sometimes the way out is the way in. Suddenly, a strong wind blew through the prison and blew the cell door open. And the cell door opened inward toward him. As it flew open, he'd been so busy telling the story of being wrongly accused, pushing against life, pushing against the door. The moral of the story is, don't be fooled by appearances. Never allow yourself to be held prisoner to conditions. Be willing to ask for help, because Spirit is turning all the time within. Ask for that help and know the answers live in you. The answers lived in that man. Your divine nature will assist you. All we have to do is ask. Ask and you shall receive. We are each the beloved place where God shows up. And I don't know about you, sometimes when we're in this thick of things, we forget. We forget to say, "Okay, God, I need help here. I don't know how to do this." Because as we ask, we do receive. The key is in each one of us to open. Our key to freedom is always in our consciousness, our beliefs. Our beliefs, sometimes the only way out is within. So stop being fooled by the appearances of life. Boldly living a new story means knowing our freedom is possible. Whatever you're dealing with, your freedom is possible, and the key is our perception of the problem. When we're so stuck in the problem, we can't see the possibilities. This guy couldn't. He kept pushing on the door. What are you pushing on that maybe you need to stop and ask for help so that it opens within? Do you believe that whatever you're dealing with is unsolvable or has no power over the God within you? Which do you believe? That your problem has no power over the God within you? Remember, I love this. Dr. Michael Beckwith said this, and I use it a lot. He said, don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big your God is. Your God is mighty and powerful. But we have to use God to have God work in our lives. It's up to each one of us to find our freedom in the bold new story. Learning to accept our history means that we're willing to look at our experiences and recognize our past for what it was without judgment. That's not easy, is it? But the more we can look at our past without judgment, our key here is without judgment. Judgment holds us hostage, locks us out. When we suspend judgment and bless and let go, we become free and receptive and open and available to the infinite ideas that do and can and will serve us. Yes? Do I have an amen? Yes.
Amen.
Thank you. God is good all the time. And Psalms 46 says, be still and know that I am God. I don't know about you, but I used to mix it up. I used to get so busy trying to tell God what to do. Oops. I understand it isn't easy to release your past. I am truly knowing that. It's not easy. And I was reminded recently of a client. As a matter of fact, this class I'm giving, she's in the class, and this client years ago who was filled with all her old stories. And I told her I was going to use it this Sunday. She was filled with her old stories and her hurts and her wrongs. And I tell her, I often say to you, bless their hearts. And she reminded me of this the whole class. She told me at the time, she says, Maggie, I can't bless their hearts. I'm not there yet. Now, this is important. If you're not there yet, don't bless their hearts. So all of a sudden, I totally forgot. All of a sudden, as she said, Maggie, I really can't. I can't bless their hearts. Can't get beyond this. And I said, well, if you can't bless their hearts, then bless their pants. She said, what? I said, yeah, bless their pants. And she said, okay. She's a very good client, student of truth. Now I have to tell you, she was telling the class, she said, so I went around blessing everybody's pants. She said, I could do that. And she said, it was amazing how much people started to change. She said, I couldn't bless their hearts, but I blessed their pants. I had forgotten that I had said that. I do say funny things. But I have to tell you that because that started, it was an opening of that door. This was the beginning of her freedom. This was the beginning of her salvation and ability to tell a bold story. That's how it works. If you can't bless somebody's heart, bless their pants. And today her life is filled with inspiration, divine guidance, and great joy. She has excelled in a whole new profession. I'm proud of her. But mostly the most important thing is she's proud of herself. Because she dared to do small steps that healed her past. She let the past fade, no longer controlling her today. I loved her reminding us. So I'm going to tell you, don't bless the pants. It all began for her with blessing people's pants. Whatever you can bless their hair, bless their ears, I don't care what it is, but bless something about the person you're struggling with. When we get hurt and filled with old feelings and old beliefs, we project the past outward into our life and outward at others. Hurt people hurt people. We hear that. Criticizing ourselves or others makes life wrong is a victim cycle. Start with baby steps. Baby steps, bless their pants. Use your words. Use your words to tell a great story. And allow your story that you tell to raise and praise not only your life, but the life of those that you might be having difficulty with. But first, raise and praise your life, because that's what it's all about. The way out of past hurts begins with our inner connection with our source, with God, with Spirit, with our divine nature. That's the way out of our past, our history. Otherwise, it burdens us. And check out what we have available for you here. I don't know if you heard Reverend Suzanne's talk last Sunday. It's probably one of the best talks I've heard in a long time. Not just from Reverend Suzanne, but from anybody. So you could go back and listen to it. Check out our daily prayers on the website that the practitioners and Reverend Suzanne and myself, we put them there for you. Our website has all our past talks. Find ease in things to bless. And use your practitioners. Call us. We love to pray. We're here to serve you. And give thanks and gratitude. It works for everything. Take classes. Ask for prayer. It's here. We are here for you. And let me tell you, we've all walked that walk. So we do understand. Baby steps. Baby steps are here for you. Want to be lifted up? Want to feel that brilliance that I claimed and said and covered you with this morning? Yeah. And come join us on Friday. And just sit here and let the beauty of Diana's singing wash over you and lift your soul. Because that's what we have to use. Whatever it takes. And then bless our pants. Okay, let's take that into prayer. I love it. How good it is. How good it is to stop in this moment. To know that there is only one life, one power, one all-loving, all-embracing, all-nurturing presence by whatever name. I call this God, the infinite, the divine, the beloved, the light, and the love. By whatever name, it is the very life that lives and breathes within my very being. I am the beloved place where God shows up, and I'm proud of it. I allow it, I recognize it, and I allow it to lift me up beyond conditions and beyond situations. And this that I know is true for me, I equally and magnificently know is true for you. You are. Each one of you, the beloved place where God shows up, each one of you in this moment is lifted up into that sphere of infinite wisdom, clarity, grace, and harmony. This is your divine birthright. This is what I know to be true. And where there is a need for a healing, I call forth the miracle-working power of God that awakens deep within every cell, muscle, fiber, and tissue of your physical body, or the body of your heart, if there's sadness. Allow the fullness and richness of God's love to wash through any sadness, harm, or hurt, and let it go into God. And knowing and accepting that is desiring to take place in your life, we open today to allow that is desiring to come into each and every one of our lives in a greater fullness than ever before is that is taking place. We see it, we feel it, we know it, we accept it, we open to the fullness of God that is desiring to express in and through and as our very being. This is what I know to be true. And we send this blessing out to our friends, to our family that have so supported us in this life. And we send it out to our church family. Because for me, this is my family. So we bless all people. And we send this blessing and this love out to the very hearts of the world, knowing that each heart is lifted because we have consciously sent that out. And boldly we tell that story, that all hearts are safe, that all hearts are healed, that there is a mighty and powerful birthing happening in our world. And in birth, there is something very new and wonderful and loving taking place. This is what I know. Greater than what I can speak is already taking place in the mind of God. I trust this divine mind. I trust the light and the love and the glory of God working in my life and working in your life. And I give thanks for that. And the mystery and the miracles that are yet to be felt and seen and known. So I just release this, my powerful word, into the ever-living, loving law of God that always says yes, knowing it returns to each and every one of us, multiplied, magnified, spilling over. We are full of divine love. And we celebrate that in ourselves and in each other. And if you're in agreement with me, please join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
Amen.